Okay, friends, welcome back to another session of Thinking on Destiny. Before we just go for the further the great way, just let's meditate for a couple of minutes in silence, and then we can go for the thing. So just close your eyes and clasp your hands and cross your legs. Please sit in a meditative posture. Observe how you are taking vital energy into your body. Just observe how breath is moving from nose when you are inhaling to various parts of your body. Just observe in silence. Let's connect to personal consciousness. Let His wisdom flow to every one of us. So place your hands on your eyes for a few seconds and open your eyes with a beautiful smile on your face. Okay, friends. Now let's go and see what exactly. Let's go and see what we left, where we left, right? Last week, we are seeing that great way. So we have seen all the things and the religion of gods and all. We came to the part of the great way. In the great way, I just left with where there are some three kinds of the things are there, the brotherhoods and all. I'll explain the pending for this session. We just close it there. So we will see there are brotherhoods. What is this brotherhoods? In those days, uh, what exactly the brotherhood? And here we may be saying that we are in the religion or something like that, right? So those days it was the brotherhood or some other things that are there. So we will see, because from the beginning we came, right? There are brotherhoods. Who are the alchemists? Who are the mysteries? Those things we will see today. There are brotherhoods composed of those who command many forces of the nature. These brotherhood people are able to command the many forces of the nature, not just the commanding the people, right? They are not commanding because they are actually studying that inner science kind of thing. So when they have that kind of hidden knowledge, right, the senses, through their senses they can control. In the beginning we have seen, right, through the thoughts they are able to move the direction of the boats in the water and all. So similarly here also they have that knowledge, hidden knowledge from the senses, the senses of the human beings, right? Equally, they learn these kind of things These are the disciples taken over the world time to time. So in those days, these are all the disciples of the people who took over the world time to time, in which they are not, because they may say that the public also can go and learn these things. No way the public can go into that, because in order to go and learn there from this brotherhood, the thing, right? So there should be a lot of inner development. If that inner development is not there, the human beings cannot fit into that, cannot fit into those lodges, or those lots of the people who are learning this inner sciences are in the brotherhood. So they cannot go. Only certain people only can go. They will have some comply some rules like a daily life, right? They should follow some kind of routine. They should follow some study, some trials, some temptations, dangers, initiation, ceremonies. All those things they have to do. Now that we know that monkhood, right? Monkhood, when they go to these things, right? They need to follow certain things. Daily 4 o'clock, they need to go get up and do certain activities and all the things, right? Not everybody can renunciate their life in the world and then they can go and live that kind of life. Here also the brotherhood at that time also they need to. They actually, when they have actually developed all these things, because they have not mm, worshipped any deity, but they found out there is a need that there is a deity worship should be there, because people who are actually able to study that inner science are able to go and learn the things and they are able to control even the nature. But those who are not able to have that kind of knowledge, what is happening is they are not fearing for anything, there is nothing. So then this deity worship came into the picture. So they started creating some kind of deity and saying that, okay, if you worship this will happen, if not, this will happen. So in order to keep the world or keep the society in an orderly form, they started that. That's what is happening in those days. So there are other groups that initiates, which are the mysteries, right? They are ancient mysteries. So they who are all there? Illusions, Bachik, and Mytharic, Orphic, Egyptian, and Diodic. Well, these are all the people who are in the nature worships, because they worship the nature gods. They worship, but it is not that they worship something. They worship the nature gods. I will just go with the one thing, right? Because Egyptians, you must have seen, like, or you must have heard that when you go to the Egypt and all, you see that their culture. I will take the one another example, okay, the Druids. No, Druids were those members of high-ranking professionals. Those were the very high-ranking professionals who are the classic ancient Celtic cultures, particularly like now they are in Ireland, Britain, France. So in those areas they were actually. So these are also known as the priests, teachers, and the judges of those days. So they played a very significant role in the religious and the social life of the communities. So what are these people do, right? So they spanned in the Iron Age, right? So that Iron Age into the Roman period. That time these people were there, and what are these functions? They worked as a priest. So Druids serves as a religious leaders conducting the rituals, ceremonies, sacrifices. These are believed to have the deep connection with the spiritual world and the natural environment. I will tell you what is the meaning of the sacrifices, what the sacrifices were started, and how it was converted as a different just a ritual. So they also worked as a judges, like setting the disputes, any the dispute, interpreting the laws, right? If there is any disputes, they also served as a judges, and also they served as a philosophers and teachers, because in those days those were the studied people, right? Those who studied these are all the people, right? Priests, judges, and teachers and philosophers are the educators and scholars, preserving and passion down the knowledge traditions, teaching orally through the generations. They study the nature, astronomy, medicine, and philosophy. These are all the things that these people, these mysteries people, right? So the different people, they all studied. when we went to the Egyptian, they studied like how they studied the medicine, how these Egyptians have done all the things we have seen. Those who had a trip to that. So others, so similar kind of thing. These are all the, but these people are not that deity worship. They are nature worships. Druids have reverence to the nature. They believe the nature. They believe the sacredness of the natural elements such as trees, particularly these oak trees, rivers, mountains, and their natural features. So they believed in this. And later, these people also started, because after the thing, because when the generations were started, they all found that there is a need of some deity worship in order to put the society in an orderly. So they worship the multiple god and goddess associated with the various, because these god and goddess are associated with various aspects of the nature only. Okay, so and also they have believed that they believed that afterlife, and they also believed the immortality of the soul. And they thought that the soul, it could be reincarnated and continue the existence for that realm after the death also. That is the reason in the Egyptians, all these things, they just put the body, they try to save and all those things, right? That's because they believed it. Their training is a oral tradition. Their knowledge and teachings were transmitted orally from the generation to the generations. That is how these are all the things. So the decline, when this the decline, what happened? That Roman conquest was declining, right? So the Britain led, then Britain led Dravidian influence, and then these Romans left. Then the Christianization has happened, because once the British has occupied every all the countries, it was ruled, right? So Christianity further went into, and it diminished this Druidians. Druidians. We can say these are all there. These are all the different kinds of the thing. What is that here actually? The teachings, right? The nature and the powers of the doer in the human. So all these kinds of the different mysteries, what they are teaching is the nature and the powers of the doer in the human. What are these? The teachings of the halls of the two truths were fair representation. Or of the judgment that awaits after the death. Judgment that awaits after the death. So they are also introduced this. The judgment is because we say that once the life is over, then entire thing will be shown to you, right? So when a human a soul was stand naked, not clothed with the breath form. So when it is, then what will be there in that soul? Light of intelligence will be there, right? In that light of intelligence, the first ray of sun entering into that, because from that particular light of intelligence, the first ray of the sun entering into the stone of the circle, then remind. So when it started, then the life in this earth started. In the earth started, right? Even for the trees and all also, whatever that we studied, like in the I didn't remember exactly the English word, because schooling I did in Telugu medium, right? So when we did it, that sun comes here, the Kiranajanya Samyoga Kriya. So exact name of that I didn't remember it. So with that, the life started. That's what here also saying, that light of intelligence, when it started in this earth, the first ray was started with this thing. The solar gem entered into the head, into the head, right? Indicated that the stone circles, which are the symbols of the skull and the brain, the life started. Here, so Druidians interpreted this symbol and relating to the awakening and perspective, awakening of the nature and procreative act. So they indicated this as a procreative act. Accordingly, they have some outer stone was the pelvis and inner stone was the uterus. That's how they just had the symbols were there in those things. In these mysteries, sacrificing animals was introduced. Sacrificing animals was a degenerate representation. That's what he is saying. It is a representation only. The animal sacrificing what it represents is, it represents the disciple, whoever is there, sacrificing his own passions. That is what it is representing. If you are showing that bull or a goat symbolizing and it has to be sacrificed, what it is meaning is, he is saying that is a degenerating that's a representation of giving up one's human sexual life, one's regenerative life. So that is the representation of this goat bull sacrificing it. But as the time passes, right? So we just lost the meaning of it and what it symbolizes it, and we just started giving the bulls and goats as a sacrificing. So that is not the originally, that is not the inner meaning. So inner meaning, so later it became so brutal. Inner meaning is the disciple has to sacrifice all the things. That is that was, but later in this world the actual inner meaning was lost and the act became brutal. That's what he's saying. So inner meaning is always, so without knowing anything, that just people have started performing these rituals. The mysteries, that is those were secret, right, was adapted through the seasons of the year. Those mysteries are these secrets were all kept with them, and those are adapted the seasons of the nature. Do with the doer of the nature also. God and goddess are personalized in nature. So God and goddess, one may feel that sun god, one may feel the earth god, one may feel the water god. So depends on the, again we know our body is also the 5 elements, right? So depends on the dominant factor of us. We may get attracted to the one particular god or a goddess, and we may start believing it, because that time it is only the nature gods. That god and goddess is also the nature gods only. So this, with this, they are actually started the worshipping. So they started some initiations, privations, sufferings, dangers, encounters, obstacles to overcome. So when you wanted to learn this inner life, so they have so many things, so many sufferings, dangers, encounters, and they started giving some initiations to purify that soul, to purify, to understand, to go over, right? So to purify that soul, they have given. They discovered that the years it had taken him to qualify is filled the symbolic teachings of what the death states would be. So they have given some symbolic teachings what after the death states would be. When the death actually did occurs, he would be having an understanding like what would be the after death life, what will happen. So with that knowledge, when one person is there, then he'll not get fear of the death, and he will be able to advance his life even after the death. He had been so trained with these mysteries, and he knew what to do after death. He knew what to do. He knew the course of action that he has to do. The object of the mysteries of the course is not told in the world. So that was not told to the world. So many of people doesn't know that there is a life after death, and your life is being continued. So many of that is why there is a fear of death. With that fear of death, everybody wanted to live fully in this life itself only. So forgetting that what is that purpose of the life, we just wanted to go after the things of the external things, and you want to live completely here, and at any cost you are doing going that. So that with that we have seen charvakas come into the picture and all those things. A true disciple in any age, what does he or she do, could could through these forms and get into the sight of the real path beyond them. So they will get through all the path. They will understand this inner path, and they will go to the beyond them. The training he received was preparation to fit him into the some life for the great way. So what is the training that the mystery people are giving to the soul? So if not this lifetime, at some lifetime, they will go to that great way. What is that great way? Combining your doer body into thinker and to the knower, so that you will become a perfect triune self. In order to become that, actually, this training is given by the mysteries. So we have seen the first part is, what is the first part that we have seen? Brotherhood. And second part is the mysteries we have seen in that Egyptians and Druidians. And then the third one is the third fraternities of the later date was alchemist. The word alchemist and the Rosicrucians. The word alchemist, because you must have learned or studied about the book The Alchemist, right? So those who read that book, so the word alchemist, as soon as see the people who learn the knowledge of making any metal into the precious metal. That means any metal into the gold. That is what the alchemists do. But here, what is that inner meaning? We will see in this session, right? Rosicrucians. So these are another alchemists and Rosicrucians that acquired the what this knowledge. They because they pretended to be the true orders. So they were the true order kind of. The alchemists, while they studied and appeared to study the law of external nature, appear to be study the laws of external nature, because they started studying that lead, how the lead can become the next metal, some metal bronze or something, and from there to silver, from silver to gold, how it can be made, right? They studied this alchemists. You feel that they studied converting this metal into the gold, but for them, this gold or lead and gold is having equal value only. They doesn't care about all these things. Why they learned all that knowledge, that because they are trying to transmute their base metals. They are refining and transmuting the baser metals of the physical body, whatever the physical body, right? The base metals of the physical body, they are refining and they are making them into the gold. So when the physical body of the they are transmitting the physical body parts into the spiritual body, into the astral body, and then spiritual body. So which means that actually when they were here in the physically in the earth itself, by studying these metals, they are also trying to order their organs. They are actually see these physical organs into the how the astral organs will be there, and how the spiritual, the fourfold body of the spiritual body, they are trying to see. But for external world, you see that they are seeing the lead into the gold. That kind of alchemist means that's what everybody will say that. But this is the truth. Truth behind it is the three: the seven planets, salt, sulfur, mercury, the elixir, and many strange terms are placed together in the untangible jargon, conceal actually the definite meanings. So they are keeping all these things, but the actual meaning of it is when they are doing the lead to the other base metals into the gold. What they are doing is there is no desire. They don't have any desire of this gold, or they won't use any of these possessions. The making of the gold was no object for them. The alchemical steps which lead the making the gold were process of their own bodies. What is that? They are doing their process of their own bodies to build up vitalized organs. So they are actually seeing that organs, how they are vital. So, and who hold the elixir of the life here. So he coming, let me throw some light on this elixir, right? So what do you mean by the elixir of the, I think we have seen the alchemist, and right. So what is an elixir? I just noted down somewhere, and I'm just going through it. Elixir means it has in an alchemy sense. It is also known as the elixir was a legendary position that believed that the grand immortality. So they believe that there will be a grand immortality is possible. Eternal truth is youth is possible. The perfect health of a person is possible who consumed it. It was often associated with the philosopher's stones, another mythical substance of supposedly transform the base metals into the gold, provided the eternal life. So how this actually, so they are saying sometimes philosophical stone is there which can be converted from the base metals into the gold. But how this elixir will convert our life into the immortal and perfect healthy body? How they can be? So these alchemists, what they are doing, they are remedy. They are finding they are with this elixir, they are finding a cure to all these diseases, and they can prolong the life indefinitely. This universal medicine is often referred as elixir. So how this elixir will come? Again, so that is an elixir, right? How this elixir will come? So what they are saying is because in this lifetime, right, or whatever, there is a light of intelligence. There is a germ, right? So that light of intelligence, that vital energy, they are actually taking. So when they are taking that lunar gem, they are gathering that lunar gem, and the solar gem was, because the enough of the lunar gem when they carried, then they are actually getting exposed to the solar gem, and that then it is the philosopher's stone, which means that here the philosopher's stones of the human being is, philosopher's stone of the metal is that which can convert, but human being is that health perfect health, or the person can become a immortal, or indefinitely they can live. That is what is meant by it. So when you are actually collecting your light of intelligence, and from that lunar usually we are wasting that lunar gems, right? Every fortnight, that lunar gem, when the human body is actually building up, we are wasting that through it could be eggs or a sperm, it is going up. But these people are able to what do you say, able to control the nature and able to hold that lunar gem, and so that they will become once they connect the enough of the light, then only it will be exposed to the solar gem, and then they'll get the perfect health. So there is a almost alchemist. Similarly, alchemist. There is a one more kind of people. There is a Rosicrucians. What is this Rosicrucians? These are also the mystical, esoteric order. They were emerged in Europe in 17th century. Okay. And they are also associated with the secret society, claiming that they have a wisdom. They have esoteric wisdom that are from the ancient life. They know this wisdom. And those are the people. So this movement was begun in early 1600s and 1600s, like 16th century and all. These texts, these Rosicrucian texts outline the principle of how this mythical founder of the Christian rockeries, all these things, they were written. According to these manifestos, Christian Rockernes was a medieval German nobleman who traveled the Middle East and studied the various mystical and scientific disciplines. Upon his return, he founded the Rosicrucian order to share his knowledge. So once he got all the knowledge from these mysteries and all those things, he found one order and he started sharing the knowledge. So that's how the Rosicrucians came. So there is also the influence of the alchemists on this. This philosophy was heavily influenced by the Hermeticism, alchemy, and Kabbalah. Those are all the movements in those days. So these knowledge, what is this knowledge is saying? Resurrections claim that the process of a secret knowledge, right, the spiritual in nature, that secret knowledge, the spiritual in nature. So what is actually the spiritual nature or the secret knowledge is how this cosmos formed, the cosmos and the divine. That knowledge, it is many things were just the belief. That knowledge they possess it. That knowledge is believed to be accessible through personal spiritual development and study. So where is that knowledge is available? That knowledge, everyone is saying about that knowledge is available within you. Everybody is having that knowledge. If you can tap your inner strength, if you can develop or if you can grow spiritually, then you can tap that particular portion and can get it. So that spiritual transformation, right? Personal spiritual transformation and enlightenment. Once you got enlightened, you will be able to tap that higher consciousness state, which is there within you in your inner self. So here they also represented the rose and the cross of the primary symbols in those days, symbolism, right? Because maybe that is the reason for the Rosicrucians order, right? So they have a rose and cross representing the union and opposite, spirit and matter. Cross is the spirit and matter cross. So that is the thing. And the rose is the petal was the closed petal, because you have all the knowledge, it is the closed. That is the rose represent here. These Rosicrucians advocated the universe reformations of the society based on spiritual and moral principles. They believed that if you reform this thing, a new era will begin. The enlightenment, new era will begin in the enlightenment, and this new era will be in a peace. That is why they started propagating these rules to the to the people. So that is how they wanted to have it. These are all the second type. This is the another kind of the brotherhood. The name of the Rosy Cross are the Rosy Cross are the Rosicrucians is the name of it. They also associated with the church who wanted to lead the, because those churches are leading the inner life, like we have seen in the celestial prophecy also. There are people who wanted to know that inner life, and that is why there are some 9 insights were given, right? So similar thing here also. Brothers, through some of them may have been disabled. There are some of the because they also taught their knowledge to the next people. So there are brotherhood were developed in this session also, and they have some disciples also. If we go through their course, right, he become the brother. So who those who go through this rosy things, rosy and cross things, then they'll become the brother of the rosy cross. The red rose here is the new heart. The red rose represents the new heart opened by the light of intelligence. That red heart is opened by the light of intelligence in thinking. Okay. And the golden cross is the new era of the astral body, which has been developed with the solid physical body. With the physical body, the astral body is also developing, right? The ordinary heart is the ordinary heart, the normal heart, is the rose with the petals closed. It opens when you started thinking. When you go to the thinker stage, it started open. The light feels. So when you started open, you feel that light. Okay, feels a need of the world, then you feel that you wanted to go to the inner world, right? It symbolizes the rose with the petal open when you wanted to go to that inner world. It was to them the spiritual thing. So when you started going the inner, that is the one, it's a spiritual thing. So the new body, through it in reality, opened the rose was a stage, namely the mental stage of the physical degree. So opening the rose is your mental stage of your psychic degree. And new body of the astral body which was developed had golden luster. The body of the gold was transmuted. So the body of the gold means, the transmuting means the body of the gold is transmuted from the ordinary body, which means that you are becoming that kind of, like when you are leading, right, like a lead is lead becoming a gold, they are also making their ordinary physical body transmuting into this gold body, which means gold body is a fully healthy, no disease, fully healthy body kind of thing. It led to mercury, and mercury to silver, and silver to gold. How it is passed? Similarly, this physical body also will pass all the stages in order to become the gold cross. The alchemical work, right, to transmute the body of lead into the body of gold. So actual meaning is not that they are just crossing the body lead to the gold, they are transmuting the body of lead to the body of gold. The furnaces, crucibles, resorts, and all these, so whatever the organs, right, in the body, so the powders were ferments in the body, and with these critical stages caused, like a catalyst and all those things, they will transfer this, because they are taking that elixir, whatever the exact life of that, right, and they are changing these organs into the pure perfect organs, so that the body can be changed from the lead body to the gold body. That is what it is happening in this. So these are all the different brotherhoods, alchemists, Rosy Cross. All these are all the different things that happened in the 16th century time frame. So what they are trying to do here at the end, whoever it is, what they are trying to do is they are trying to transmute, they are trying to get the immortality in the physical body itself, because the physical body is prone to disease, prone to death, because of your thoughts only. That's what, if you can able to transmit your physical body from the doer portion into the thinker and the knower, once you become a perfect triune self, then you are immortal. So ultimately, this great way is trying to teach you in one lifetime or the other, you should go there. Okay, that closes our section 1 of the mm, great way. What is the second section that we will see? Because we have 20 minutes time, we can start. The triune self complete. What is this triune self? Because that is the threefold way. That's what we are talking, right? The threefold way, the three parts of the each way, the lunar, solar, and the light germs. Divine in immaculate conception, the form, life, the light parts of the way of the body. That we will see. When the doer will have reached, what is the triune self complete? When the doer has reached the ultimate perfection. So he achieved that his perfect sexless body, then ultimate perfection, having lost itself, there found itself. So lost itself in the outer world, found itself in the inner world. It united, the doer united himself with the thinker, and who is the union with the knower. So when it goes there, then that is the union that has happened. When these three bodies are absorbed, their atmospheres, that is called the triune self complete. This triune self complete besides the perfected physical body. So which means this is a perfected physical body. With the three other bodies, what are the three other bodies for perfected physical bodies? The body of the doer in the form world, that is developed in the fluid solid body. Our body is a solid fluid body, right? So that one. And the body of the thinker in the life world, which is the airy solid body, a bit airy and solid body. And the body of the knower in the light world, which is a radiant solid body, which is a light world, right? So radiant solid body. All the three bodies, when they were together acting perfectly, then each of these has its own respective world. Each of the body has its own respective world, but they're all working together now. They are not going separately. They are not saying, as a knower, I know everything, but as a doer, I'm going to the out world and I want that, I want this, and going to the outside the world. It's not doing that. It is because it has a knower knowledge, it is perfectly going the way that it has to do it. So in that case, that is called the triune self complete. Thus, the triune self complete is a perfect physical body, perfect form body, and perfect life body, and perfect light body. So, all these are the perfect bodies together. They may act separately, they may act together, but they are acting in alignment with each other. The physical body through which it has been done perfected, right? That body, whatever the body, suppose if the body, when I'm in this in this body, the prasanna, the body, that if I get perfect, this body is a immortal body. Okay, if not, I will be learning some of the things and then come again and taking. So in some part of the body, you should become a perfect immortal body. That is why all these teachings are coming into our way in this lifetime. Why it is coming in our way? It is training, because we don't have any brotherhoods, we don't have any alchemists, we don't have any mysteries. Like 16th, 17th century, what we have is all these, the knowledge that was given, or that was knowledge that is passed on from them. In such a perfect body, when such a perfect body we achieved, three parts of the triune self is complete and can be and fully embodied. Okay, they live in a spinal cord. So they live in a spinal cord and in the voluntary nervous system. The each operates in a respective body, because they have a life body, form body, and each operates in a respective body, center or a station which that is being. The form from its abdominal brain. The form body is starting working from the abdominal brain, and the life is a thoracic brain, and the light is a celopathic brain. So these are all the things. Even as a doer, right, all your emotions are coming from the abdomen. That's where the abdomen come. You will start, right? So similarly, here he is also saying the form being in the abdominal brain, the life being in the thoracic brain, and the light in the celopathic brain. So with all these things, the brain of the physical body is in the pelvis from the centers, which is seized to be the common ground for nature and the triune self. That beings act through all parts of the body. Therein all the planes of the physical world, all the planes of the physical world, this perfect body can act. Even the light of the intelligence is throughout. That light of intelligence is acting through you throughout, wherever you go, because you are that perfect body. Far from such a perfection, we are such a far from that perfection, right? We are not there yet. We are so far from that perfection. Far from that perfection is the state of the doers. Now we are in that. Banished to the outer crust of the layer. They are not even fully in the body. A small portion of the doer is in the body, not even fully in the body. You are not even existing. And thinker and the knower is merely, you are not even contacting thinker and the knower. You are not even imagining that every knowledge is within you. You are not thinking in that way. So that the thinker and the knower are merely somewhere else. Okay, merely contact in the heart and lungs. You are our pituitary body respectively. You are not actually working. You are working through your emotions. You are working through your feelings, because feelings and emotions are abdominal area, and everything that we are doing. You in a sense we are all doing, right? Whatever that we are doing, we are going by with our feelings, and we are going by with our emotions. We are not going by with our thinking, which is in the thoracic region, or the light that knower portion, which is in the pituitary, right? We are not going with that. We are not using with that. We are not using going by with our heart or going with our pituitary body. That's what he is saying. From the state in which the each doer is at present, right? It must go until each doer at the present state, wherever we are, we must go to the state until it opens and travels and leads to the, so until it opens to the thinker and knower, each state of our body is undergoing the re-existence only. The body will end, and again you'll come with the re-existence, with all with all the baggage that we have. With all those baggage, we will get some more some things to experience in this life, and we'll come back. To determine to find the way is simple. The way is simple. What is that? Someday enter on upon the way. The great way is name here is the threefold way. What is the great way? Is a threefold way. In certain way in the physical body, the way of thinking for the development of the human by thinking, and the way of thinking development of the human by thinking, the way in which the human travels inside the earth during its development. These three ways are traveled together at the same time, not separately at the different times. But they will be treated here to the separately because of our the separate are distinct. Because what is the way out? What is how many lifetimes we will take? He is saying that you have to think out of this. You have to think that the moment, because you know that all these external things are not so important. Okay, as soon as we are learning this session or some other some other session, or some other master or some guru is coming and teaching, so in that session you feel that, oh, all these cars, whatever the money, golds are, is all these things are very external. They are nothing. We will think, okay, we will think, and we will see that we are having that kind of knowledge that the rishis and all those things are having, right? That kind of knowledge we must go and touch that higher consciousness, so that we can touch that knowledge. We will have all kinds of, because we will be in that trance. The moment the session is over, or that the pravachanam is over, or that guru is went, then we are again going back to our own normal lives. And so what is the way out? Way out is remember these things and practice in your life. That's a way out. That is why these teachings are coming in your way, because you are supposed to go to that great way. That's why all these teachings are coming to us. Each of these three ways have three sections called form path, life path, and light path. Because physical body form path, thinker life path, and knower the light path. On the way in the body, the form path reaches from the end of the terminal of the filament to the beginning of the spinal cord proper. The life path reaches. When this physical path was done, then it will reaches the life path, and there to the seven cervical vertebra, and the light path reaches from there the first cervical vertebra. That's what it is showing in our picture of 6D also. On the way of thinking, the form path ends. When you are thinking, who am I? That's why Raman Maharshi said that, who am I? Start thinking. So when you started thinking, who am I? Why I exist? What is the purpose? And all those things. When you started thinking, so the physical thing ends and you started thinking out what is the purpose and all. When that thinking is over, the light path, the knowledge path will come. The light path will come. So that when the light path will come, everything you feel that righteousness and reasoning. So that is the light path, right? So that light path is completed. That light path is also completed. Once you started living in this life, whatever that you got it in through this universe, you are so grateful and you are living with a gratitude life. And everything that you are doing in a righteous manner, and your righteous and reasoning manner. When you are doing that, then the path of opens. That path is the path opens. That selflessness path or I-ness path will open. For that only we are reading all this, the great way. On the way of the earth, the form path reaches from the entrance to the earth. Enters to the earth, and the first third half of the circumference of the inner crust, and the life path ends when the second third has been traveled, and the light path is in completion of the circumferences of the inner earth. When you go to that inner earth, so the light path is also, and then you will become the complete triune self. The way you are in the body, though it leads to the immortal life, it is a closed road and must be opened by the lunar gem bearing the light. So, though in this lifetime you can become immortal, but that became a closed path. So, how you can open? You have to get that light. How you can get that light? With the lunar gem. You can get that light. The form path, the way in the body, is the halo within the terminal filament. The form path, right? There is a halo within the terminal filament, which is present in the tubular thread from in the spinal cord. It is there in that spinal cord. This tube is now choked, sealed wholly, or a part, and can be opened only to the light bearer. Only to the light bearer, and only to the with the lunar gem it can be opened. Now it is closed, sealed, because of our all external things, right? A doer is I'm Prasanna doing the session, I'm Prasanna going in the car, I'm Prasanna going in that session. So we are totally engrossed in the me and my body. I am doing that kind of thing, right? So when we are doing that, this will be very closed. So I am not, I came for a purpose. We have to start thinking, we came for a purpose in this earth. This is not that everybody is working, not that everybody earning one house after the other, one car after. This is not the purpose. One day we have to leave. We have to leave. Ambani has to leave, right? Everybody has to leave this earth. How much ever you earn. But is this the purpose? What is the purpose? When you started thinking, then actually with that light only, with that light of the lunar gem, once you got that twist of inner self that you want to learn, right, then only it will open. For some reason, we are all fortunate that somebody opened that inner quest. That is why we are here to learning all these concepts. So because we have the torch, so with that torch, start searching, start going and start thinking it. When a lunar gem, after descending from the right side, when the lunar gem is after descending from the right side in the involuntary nervous system, generally speaking alone, it's in the digestive tract, and now it's not lost. By the way, it's a co-psychical system ascended in the left side. It has to go in the ascended in the left side of the involuntary nervous system, with the region of kidney, and pass upward. It will go to the thoracic, and it will go to the head. That's what it descends first. Now it has, we are in the process of ascending. When we are ascending, we need this lunar gem. We need that light, reinforced light, to carry from the light, from the light. So then this carrying this light lunar gem. Then if we go to the solar gem, then that union, that lunar gem and the solar gem union, then you will get that light, and you will become the perfect body, perfect triune self body. This light issues from the solar into the lunar gem, and there is a divine. immaculate conception, that lunar gem. And this is the initial step and factual basis of the development of the three embryonic bodies. This is the three embryonic bodies, right? Then this will come, make it together. It is the analogous process of the, it is a physical process, that lunar gem in the female as well as the male, representing the ovum and the solar gem of the spermatization. The lunar gem developed towards the embryonic form body, descending again in the right side of involuntary nervous system along the digestive tract. Okay, after it has reached the lowest point in the pelvis, it does not ascend, because we are actually in a normal case, it reaches the lowest point in the pelvis, we are wasting it. But in this perfect body, they are actually taking it back. They are not wasting it. So in the form of egg or in the form of sperm, we are wasting that lunar gem in a normal case. But when this perfect body, when they will not waste, they will collect all these lunar gems. If they can collect, I think 12, right? If they can collect the 12 lunar gems, and that with that light, they will be able to ascend. They will be able to ascend again to the head. That's what they are actually. This is all we discussed. Again, kind of the revision that he is actually explaining. The lunar gem developing towards embryonic form body descends again in the right side of involuntary system along the digestive tract. After it has reached the lowest point to the pelvis, and it does not ascend to the left side of the region of the kidneys, then it is wasted. Okay. If it started ascending, then it will go. Now belong to the then it will go to the spinal cord, then it will go to the voluntary nervous system, and it will go to the filament, and then the light will open. That's what he is saying. The lunar gem then is the form path. Then it will goes to the form path and travels throughout the terminal filament. It is traveling throughout the terminal filament. About the junction of the first lumbar, there are 12, right? Lumbar things in our what is spinal cord. The first lumbar and the 12th dorsal vertebrae, it will start. When the lunar gem has reached to that point, the solar gem, which went down in the right hemisphere of the spinal cord, meets it both gems, bends through the central canal of the spinal cord of the head. Here it meets the lunar gem with that light meets throughout the head, ascending to the solar gem. When the lunar gem has entered into the central canal of the spinal cord of the human eternal life, then that is the obligatory deaths and rebirths are at an end. When it's not actually wasting, when it started going up, that's where actually the obligatory birth and death system ends. The body will not die. That is the body that it becomes the immortal. What is here is called the lunar gem is ceases to be mere the gem after its impregnation in the head. It is a descendant along the nerves of the digestive system. It begins to develop. It enters through the open seal and the filament. It's ready to become the embryonic form of the body. Here you may say the sperm will go out, the egg will go out. It's a natural scientific process. How do you from the descendant to ascendant, how does it happen? That's where the alchemists and the rose cross people has said, right? Because they are not actually converting the lead to the gold, they are trying to control the nature's thing. If you see the alchemist, if you read the book Alchemist, they say we can become wind. A person can become wind and then go. A person can. So how does they are actually learning all this knowledge? They are learning because they are able to control the nature. So similarly here, when you are able to control that lunar gem without wasting and collecting the light, that is the time where you can become this. So when we have to become, because all this come, you may say, when in the world that will happen? No, don't say that, because it came to our knowledge means it is being explained to us, means there is this possibility that we are traveling in the right direction. So it was called the lunar, like a lunar gem traveling along the path, living the embryonic form, we are also traveling in the right path. This will become in term the form body and the body of the doer. and the psychic part of the triune self is complete. At that time, when this form body reaches the head, the psychic part of the triune self is complete. When this embryonic body has reached the central canal of the spinal cord, at about upper level of the first lumbar vertebra, it come to an end of the form path, the way of the body. It is here that it meet the solar jump. So once it started ascending, it is there, it is here, it is meeting the solar jump. This is no longer mere the jump. Once it meets the solar jump, it is now no longer mere the jump. It began to develop during its downward course. When it is downward course, when it is meeting the solar gem, that's different. It is upward course because it collected the enough light and it is going in the upward. That time in the spinal cord, it meet. So, which means it is at the central canal of the spinal cord when it meets, right? Then it goes to the form body. It is not a no more just this. It goes to the form body of the life of the thinker. Then it goes to the mental part and it goes to the light body of the triune self, of the knower. Then it is the perfect body. That's what here we are saying. I will stop here because of the want of the time. Maybe the science students will be able to better better the thing. Only point is we are actually we should be able to control that kind of jump without wasting. We have to ascend it. That much I can say. When you started ascending, you got enough light, then you can meet the solar jump. That time you will be able to get in contact with the thinker and get in contact with the knower. So second part, half of it I stopped it. Now, questions or any sharings, I will leave it. Oh, Rajnikar, all left. You are there. Let me